Right now we're at brookings.edu. The article says U.S. white population declines and Generation Z plus is minority white, census shows. William H. Frey, June 22, 2018. Editor's note: William H. Frey's latest book, Diversity Explosion: How New Racial Demographics Are Remaking America, was released earlier this year, which obviously was 2018. So let's go ahead and get into the article. The U.S. Census Bureau release of race and age statistics for 2017 points to two noteworthy milestones about the nation's increasingly aging white and growing diverse population. First, for the first time since the Census Bureau has released these annual statistics, they show an absolute decline in the white, non-Hispanic population, accelerating a phenomenon that was not projected to occur until the next decade. Second, the new numbers show that for the first time there are more children who are minorities than who are white at every age, from 0 to 9. This means we are on the cusp of seeing the first minority white generation, born in 2007 and later, which perhaps we can dub Generation Z plus. Together, these new data suggest that a signature feature of U.S. demographic change in 21st century is the aging and decline of the white population, along with population growth among young minorities to counterbalance the trend. Now, just in case you did not know, data is the plural form, datum is the singular form. Keep going forward. White population decline. America's white population has been increasing since the first census was taken in 1790. Table 1 shows the change in the non-Hispanic white population using data from the censuses of 1970 to 2010 and annual population estimates for 2011 to 2017 based on the recent release. These new numbers show, for the first time, an absolute decline in the nation's white population of more than 9,000 whites between 2015 and 2016 and more than 31,000 whites between 2016 and 2017. These new estimates revised earlier census estimates, which shows white gains between 2015 and 2016. So they had to correct the lies, what he's saying. And there's a table here that you can't see, but if you go and check out the site, you'll be able to see it. Maybe I'll be able to get the picture of it, who knows. Although these white declines are extremely modest, of less than negative 0.005% and negative 0.016% in 2015 and 2016 respectively, they are an early harbinger of the long-term trend that Census Bureau projected previously this year. Those projections show the white population declining after 2023. This is indicative of general aging of the white population, which means proportionately fewer white women in their childbearing years and an excess of deaths over births, a natural decrease. The recent downsizing of the white population could reflect post-recession related fertility decline in the white population, leading to an inflation of natural white decrease to its highest levels in the last 6 years. The past year also showed a downturn in white immigration. Now that's the end of it. No, it's not. Excuse me, almost the end. Halfway through. The good news for the nation is that the white aging and potential future declines will be by gains in racial minorities. These populations increased by 4.7 million in the 2 years that the white population declined, including gains of 2.4 million among Hispanics, 1.1 million among Asians, and 1.2 million among all other races, according to new estimates. Moreover, these gains are especially important in offsetting white declines that are occurring among the nation's youth. Let me go ahead and read this to you again so that way you really put that in context. The good news for the nation is that white aging and potential future declines will be countered by gains in racial minorities. These populations increased 4.7 million in 2 years that included that the white population declined, including 2.4 million Hispanics, 1.1 million among Asians, and 1.2 million among other races, according to new estimates. So this is why the good news for them is because people who want to be white are still gaining numbers. Moreover, these gains are especially important in offsetting white declines that are occurring among the nation's youth. A new white minority generation. A second noteworthy finding from the new census estimates is that for the first time, minorities outnumber whites nationally for each age under 10. While earlier estimates revealed white minority status for some of these youthful ages, this is now solidly the case for individuals born in each year since 2007. There's another picture. Hopefully I can get that one. Hence, this generation, which might be called Generation Z Plus, is the first white, truly minority white generation at 49.6%, where 26% at its members are Hispanics, 13% are African Americans, and nearly 10% include Asians and persons of two or more races. Stop right there. So, biracial people are almost half, because you know the Asians aren't half of that. Uh, and the reason why I said they're not half of that is because there's more biracial. You would be surprised how many biracial people there are right now. There's way more biracial people than they let on. Um, how many of them identify with white? Who knows? And mess up the numbers. But as long as there's 26% Hispanic, even if the white population all died off, there's a lot of them who are from the Spanish, not Latino, Hispanic. See, there's a difference. And the Hispanic being that they have Spaniard origins, meaning that they're European. So this is why it's so important that they push that up. And then the Asians obviously being people who are from the Indo-European bloodline, even though they're specific, to whatever bloodline of Asian they are, they're still from the Indo-European bloodline. So they still have the genetic precursors that the Anglo-Caucasian man finds desirable. Now we're going to go ahead and move on. And there's another picture here, and hopefully I can get that one too. Of course, there is variation in Gen Z Plus's racial profile across the country. Notably, there are now minority white in 15 states, including Hawaii, New Mexico, California, Texas, and Nevada, plus DC. In each of the latter states, the population under 10 is less than 35% white. At the other extreme, 17 states, largely in New England, the Midwest, and Mountain West, huge Gen Z populations that are more than two-thirds white. This population is minority white. This population is minority white in 43 of the largest 100 metropolitan areas, including Los Angeles. Less than 20% of the 0 to 9-year-olds are white. Declines of white youth. The rise of the minority white Generation Z has a lot to do with the steady decline in whites among America's youth since 2000. This occurred as more white young people entered adulthood than were born or immigrated to the U.S. However, this trend was countered to some degree by a growing youthful minority population. Nationally, whites under the age of 10 sustained a loss of 1.2 million between 2010 and 2017, according to the new estimates. This loss of youthful whites is fairly pervasive. Occurring in 43 states and 81 of the nation's 100 largest metropolitan areas. This trend has also taken place in over 4/5 of the nation's 3,100 counties. The parts of the country that have not seen white child declines tend to be places that have attracted recent white immigrants, including younger segments of the white population. The states of Texas, especially Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, Washington, Seattle, as well as North and South Dakota are in this category. And it has this another picture, beautiful picture, all the places that are in decline. Yet these white declines are countered by the gains in minorities. Between 2010 and 2017, the underage 10 population showed gains among minorities of nearly 1 million, lessening the nationwide youth decline to just 276,000. Minorities have not stopped all geographic areas from child population decline, but they contributed to gains in the age under 10 populations for 17 states and the District of Columbia, 48 of the largest metropolitan areas, and over 800 counties. Some of these gains are growth are due to immigration, with the remainder attributable to natural increase. Nonetheless, it is clear that the younger minority populations will be significant contributors to the nation's youth in light of the overall aging of the white population. These new census estimates underscore important demographic megatrends that will impact the country's future. As older baby boomers retire, there will be an increasing need for younger generations to contribute to a vibrant, productive labor force. Clearly, the emerging minority white Generation Z plus, small in size and born since the onset of the Great Recession, will play a great role. This underscores the urgency of investing in the well-being of America's racially diverse youth and their parents in the years and decades ahead. Now, that's the end of this article. Now, I want y'all to understand. If this man really knew what he was talking about, he would say that the drugs have killed these white people. He would say that suicide is killing these white people. And he would say that the fact that they're breeding out at numbers that are totally unfathomable is what's knocking off their population. Now, he would also be careful to also bring up the fact that it wasn't until the 70s that they actually really kind of put a clamp on why white men and white women couldn't get together just normally and then go and have kids together. Even if they had the same blood type, seemingly. This is why I tell you that there's only blood compatibility and not blood types. Because people who would be known to have the same blood types would, for some odd reason, right, have one child and then have another, and then have issues getting pregnant, or just having issues getting pregnant overall. And this is why there was a lot of infidelity. This is why there was still, I mean, I'm not going to explain infidelity as to child rearing issues and not just overall lust. But when you talk about why one group of people would commit adultery as to another group of people, it would totally make sense for a man to go have children with a woman who's capable of bearing children when his wife can't bear children. Does that not make sense? So, just think about John Brown. They said he had 20 children, okay? Now, y'all know that he didn't knock down 20 different women, okay? He had a bunch of different kids by a few different women. The reason why this is so important is because it tells you that either these people are all RH negative or they're all RH positive, or some of his sons were full-blown special needs. You know what I'm talking about? So, and I'm not going to say that's not the case. I just don't see that being the case. I see the man being RH positive with a phenotype that may betray your eyes and tell you that he's RH negative to the core, but there's a lot of white-looking people that are RH positive. So I won't go there, but I just need this to be put in here in the context as to where I'm going with everything. I'm going to slowly rotate back to genetics and prove my point that I'm not crazy. I know what I'm talking about. And when it comes to the population decline, this is why you've seen the stork for most of this video, is because they wish they had the stork. Tell me I'm lying. Any one of you tell me I'm lying. And if I am, then I'll correct myself. But the stork used to be their story as to how the babies were dropped off. They wish they had a stork there. Man, let me stop. I salute you for your time. I appreciate you. Bye.